What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. Let's get into the story. The homie from Trouble, one of the homies, unalived another homie from Hoover, unalived a Hoover. I believe that this transpired in Salinas Valley. I don't know why I got Sat F on my mind, but I believe it was Salinas Valley. And it was more, you can say that it was recent when you're talking about someone losing their life. It was a few years ago, though. And it happened to the homie Evil from 9-4 Hoover. I believe he was Baby Evil. I was there in Centinella with him. I was in a cell with another dude from 9-4 Hoover. Let's call him Dan. And Dan oftentimes found himself in all sorts of situations because of the way that he sometimes carried himself. They say now, I talked to Big Trey Soldier recently, and he said that Dan had went to CMC, a soft prison, and that he no longer gang bangs. He no longer claims 9-4. I don't know. Because he said that another homie that's there in Centinella with him had stopped gang banging as well. He started calling him by his first name. He was upset about this. But I talked to this homie that he was talking about just a couple of days ago, and he said that he's in a cell with a homie and all that. So either he came back or he had never really left or whatever. So I don't know if Dan is still representing or not. According to Big Trey Soldier, not so much. But there in Centinella, Dan was very tatted up and had Enemigos hoods crossed out on his face. I'm going to get into some incidents that he got into up there. And eventually I'll reveal his name, I suppose. The hell with it. And so Evil is from 9-4, and he's there on the yard in Centinella as well. And obviously, he has Dan's back. Dan is bringing in certain stuff. He has some product. And a couple of people on the yard owe him. He wants me to confront some of these people, I remember. Again, Dan is my seller. He wants me to confront some of these people that owe him money. I'm not your goon, bro. You confront them and you get your fucking money. Who does this guy think I am? Sometimes this dude really rubbed me the wrong way. And apparently he rubbed the dude from the gangster car the wrong way because he owed him a few dollars. I forget, this dude was like from up north or something, like an up north gangster. But, you know, shit, he was still down for the cause, clearly. Because one day Dan approached him on the yard, asking about his money. And dude said, man, on gangsters, I'm tired of dudes throwing up gangsters. He got real aggressive with Dan to the point where Dan was really backed into a corner in front of everybody over there on the pull-up bars. Being backed into a corner and being the kind of guy he is, he all nervous and shit, and got himself in a situation by approaching this dude, thinking you about to press him hard about your bread, this little $50 or something. And dude recognized what you was trying to do, and he wasn't going for it. They ended up having a squabble right there on the yard. And Evil jumped in, apparently, to save Dan. Because Dan, not surprisingly, was losing the fight. A lot of bark, very little bite. And Evil jumped in, so they packed him out. They packed the dude from Gangsta out. There was fallout over that. I'll get into all of that soon. I'm just telling a little bit of background about Evil and how he ended up in another prison, because he was there in Centinella with me on the yard. Short, light brown skin, had size on him. We used to work out together, a nice, strong homie. But he wasn't very well known and he was almost treated as if, like he wasn't one of the main ones. And this is important. I'm telling this part of it because this is going to be important to the story, I believe. Because sometimes favoritism is involved in these situations. People pick and choose who they're going to respond over, who they're going to go up over. Because, so let me not get ahead of myself. So Evil, they went to the hole for packing out the dude from Gangsta. But Evil had already gotten to some incidents, which I'll get into there in Centinella, within the past 6 months. And oftentimes, when you get into 3 or 4 incidents, even 3 in prison within 6 months, they want you out of that prison. They're going to transfer you. They're used to violence on the yard. The authority figures, the government, the administration is used to violence. This doesn't surprise them or unnerve them. However, it's typically from this faction, then this faction gets into it, or this person, then this person. When it's constantly coming from one of the same people, others as well, but the same person is also always involved in violence, they want to get rid of you. They don't want that problem. They're going to try to put the problem upon someone else in another prison. So it was decided by the administration to transfer Evil after that incident. He never came back to the yard. He went to, again, I believe it was Salinas Valley. Now, up there in Salinas Valley, so you can make the argument that he wasn't even supposed to be gone. He was trying to help out Marcelli, who was out there getting his ass beat for going out there running his fucking mouth. Then wasn't trying to back it up like that, and Evil had to jump in and save him. So now he done got transferred. Marcelli is back on the yard after a couple of months in the hole, however long he did in the hole. He came back to the yard. We didn't sell back up, though. Evil, again, is gone. He did some time in the hole. Then they transferred. They said, we don't want you in our prison no more because of a couple incidents he had got into prior, as I said. And now you done pack somebody out, man. We tired of your shit. So they transferred him. And he got to Salinas Valley. And he's up there with the homie from Trouble Gangsters. Yeah. My cousins are from Trouble. My mother's sister, sons, 2 of them, are from Trouble. I used to be in Trouble Gangsters' hood. I used to be, I used to be over there. I used to be at some of their houses. I know them, bro. I fucks with them. Again, my family's from there. And they're allies with us, of course, with Hoovers. So we're all good. They're essentially a part of our car. There in Centinella was Skrilla from Trouble and Meech from Trouble and some others. Big Scrap from Trouble was there. Then Baby Scrap or Tiny Scrap or whatever. But he ended up locking it up, going PC or something. Indeed. And so the Troubles are with us. So Evil goes up there, and one of the homies from Trouble, I won't mention his name right now, is up there as well. And some other homies from Hoover. Now, Evil, he doesn't like some of the things that's going on here on the yard with the homies. He just left Centinella, another prison. Maybe the way we were doing things up there was different than how things are being ran where he's at now. Whatever his gripe is, he has a gripe with certain homies in the car or one homie in the car or whatever. I'm not sure. But he has a gripe with some of the things that is transpiring there on the yard as it relates to our faction. However, instead of approaching this situation, confronting it, and confronting whoever he has a problem with, he's constantly, from my understanding, the story goes, I wasn't there. I was still in Centinella when this happened. He had just transferred. He's been in Salinas Valley. It couldn't have been no more than a month. He was not there more than 1 month. I think a couple of weeks when this situation transpired. How quickly things change, how quickly things happen. He was just in Centinella running a whole nother program. And now, because he was a strong, solid homie and jumped in to save his fallen comrade, he had to be transferred. And so he's up here and he's telling the homie from Trouble about the gripes and issues that he has with whatever homies there. The homie from Trouble being a solid and strong and stand-up dude. From my understanding, I don't really know him personally. I believe we've met once or twice and that was it. From all accounts, he's a stand-up individual who lives and embodies the rules and the protocols. And he believes that if you are a man and you have a problem with anyone, that you should approach that person and confront that problem head on. That does not mean that you have to be aggressive and go looking for trouble and all of that, because you will find it. It just means that it may be even your wife that you have a problem with. You don't want to just go telling your brother about it, or her mother, or her best friend. You want to tell your damn wife what the problem is. If you have a problem with your brother, your uncle, your friend, any man, and you are a man, you need to approach that person and that problem. If you gossip about it to someone else and have never approached the person himself, well, you could quickly be divested of your respect. So you want to approach the problem. That's really the manly thing to do. But instead, he's coming and telling the homie from Trouble whatever his problems are. And he's a stand-up dude. He's saying, man, don't talk to me about it, bro. Go tell the homies what problems you have with them and the reasons that you have the problem. That is the gangster thing to do. You coming to me. Now, don't get me wrong, because I've had Sellies and other homies that had come to me and say, man, the homie such and such, and I didn't look at it necessarily like they was talking behind their back. I just looked at it like they was just looking to me for guidance and understanding. They was just venting. You know, these dudes wasn't cowards. They'd tell that person too if they had to, but instead they was just venting or whatever. And they was just looking at me as an OG homie. And so they would tell me about, man, this dude, man, ooh, you know, and I tell them, oh, bro, they just looking at me, my bro, just chill out. There's that to bring some understanding to the situation, some light to whatever the problem was, a different perspective. Someone who they believed had his head screwed on correctly and could guide them in the right direction. Well, whatever the situation may have been with the car or a particular homie. So it's not always that you're just gossiping behind somebody's back. Sometimes you're just looking for guidance. But in this case, the homie from Trouble believed that Evil was just gossiping and running his mouth, and that he wasn't strong or being strong and being a man by confronting the situation head on. And he believed that he was talking behind the homies' backs, and that if he was telling him this stuff, he would tell other people from other cars, etc. So he told him, man, go confront them. And Evil had not done that. And then one day, again, all of this transpired rapidly because Evil just hit the yard a week and a half ago when all of this is transpiring. Fast forward a few days later, a week later, now he's been on the yard, as I said, less than a month, 2.5, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks at the most. And the homies are somewhere on the yard congregating, as we do, different factions, chopping it up, talking, smoking, or working out, just chilling, whatever. I was hanging with my homies every day on the yard. We was working out together every day on the yard. We eating together every day in the building. This is just what it is. So they're over there congregating, just chilling. Nobody knew anything about anything. And then Evil popped up to the congregation. The homie from Trouble was there. And he told Evil right there in front of all of the homies that were just there chilling, hey, bro, tell them what you've been telling me. I told you, I was going to confront, I was going to bring this up, bro, that talking behind the homies' backs. Now, they all right here, bro. Be a man, basically. Be strong. Tell them what you told me. Don't keep telling me this shit. Here they all right here. See what I'm saying? That's what you're not confronting them, bro. You telling me this shit. Now, as soon as we walk off, you're going to be whispering to me about this dude and that dude when you was just right here in their face. And then tell them anything about the qualm or gripe that you have with them. So, Evil, basically, according to the story, again, I was not there, but of course, word got out quickly to us, everything that transpired, since it involved our homie that had just left our yard. And there are not really many different accounts. This is pretty much coming from everyone who was there. This is how it happened. Well, Evil said, I don't know if he clammed up or because the homies are right there. And now this dude is telling him, confront these homies and tell them. And who knows, I don't know, what Evil had been telling the dude from Trouble about these homies, how bad it was. This dude's a buster. This dude's a cow, or whatever. And now he's saying, say this now to their face. And so if you've been saying something crazy behind their back, and now you have to say it to their face, apparently he didn't want to do that. So he basically said, man, I ain't said nothing. I didn't say nothing like that. I wasn't saying all that, whatever. So the dude from Trouble said, what? You saying I'm lying? You saying that you didn't say such and such about such and such, such and such about such and such. You didn't say those exact words, bro? You said I'm lying on Trouble Gang? You said I'm lying? Put that on who, whatever. You ain't say that. Woo. All the homies, they all standing up now. They all right there. What's up? What you been saying? What happened? What'd he say, bro? Evil right there. Oh, man. It's all turning on him. Now, again, that's what happens. If all of this is true, if he had been talking behind the homie's back and I wasn't there, and had not confronted them, then it comes back on you. It's going to get out anyway, what you've been saying to the person. That's why it's best and more respectable to just talk to that person and iron it out, whatever the end result is, but you confront that situation and that person or those people. And in this case, it's all coming crashing down upon Evil, who's right there, like a deer in the headlights with a bunch of strong gangsters looking at him, wanting to know what he's been saying about them. Yeah, go ahead and say it, bro. What have you been saying? So instead of, coming out with whatever it is that he had been saying, just saying, bro, all I said was woo, but I wasn't trying to say it like that. All I was saying was woo, whatever, however he's going to try to justify it or what have you. Instead, he essentially, from my understanding, the story goes, denied that he had ever been talking behind their backs. Man, I ain't said nothing. Or at least said that I ain't said that, whatever, however it went. Now, the homie from Trouble is outraged and saying, now you're saying in front of the homies that I'm lying, that I'm making stuff up, that I'm starting stuff. Because you don't want to be a man and admit to what you did. Now you make it seem like I'm. And so he said, man, bam. And he socked him. He hit him. I don't know if he told him, man, bro, I'm going to tell you again, you better, however it went. But he hit Evil. And even though Evil was a big dude, he was short, but again, he was strong. He had size on him, bro. He was stocky. And even though that was the case, he wasn't expecting, from my understanding, he was not expecting the punch. He probably should have been, should not have even been in swinging distance with all of this hostility surrounding him. And this dude telling him to, confront this situation. But again, it's not like he came out of his cell expecting any of this. But he should have been, if it's true that you've been talking behind their backs. And so he punched Evil, apparently unexpectedly. Bam! And the dude that hit him, the homie from Trouble, he's not a small dude. either. He's bigger than evil, for sure. And evil fell and hit the ground. I don't know if he was knocked out before he hit the ground. I don't know if he just dazed. I don't know if he knocked him out or how it went, but he fell down. He hit him hard enough that he dropped him. And when evil fell down, all that stuff, everything on the prison yard is just nothing but concrete and walls. Dry ass, hard, horrible concrete and barbed wire. Reminding you that you're nothing more than a caged animal in the eyes of the administration. And evil hit the ground and his head hit the pavement. And he died. Yes, evil died. He was unalive, right? He passed away. He's gone. His head hit the homie knocked him out. I keep saying the homie because I refer to the troubles as the homies. And this dude was essentially a part of our car. But I was angry about this shit. Even though I messed with the troubles real tough. I wasn't sure, if I was willing to accept that. I'll get into that. But evil's head hit the ground after he punched him. Bam! You said I'm lying, bro? Boom! Bam! Hit him hard. One time. Bam! Evil went back, hit the ground. Boom! And never woke up. He was in the hospital. I believe he was in a coma for a couple of days or so. And the announcement was made that he was never returning home. He was gone. And the homie that went to the hole, they came and got him from trouble. I think he was just fighting a manslaughter. I don't think he was fighting the measure. I don't think he was fighting the measure, the murder. I think it was just a manslaughter. Because, I'm sure the courts are saying, or his lawyer, or even the law said, well, we can't say that that you were trying to unalive him. You had no weapon, or you just punched him. It's people that was in prison. I was in jail, in LA County Jail, the homie from OVG, who was in there for the same thing, had punched a dude somewhere on the street, on the sidewalk somewhere, and dude fell back and his head hit the ground, and he passed away. He died. And they was trying to give him like 20 years, though, it was a manslaughter, but it was some other kind of manslaughter, like gross manslaughter or some shit. So, but he was fighting like a manslaughter, and he was in the hole. I don't know what ended up happening with his situation, how much time the dude from trouble ended up getting, if he got any time, if he beat the case, I don't know. Again, I ended up going home, basically. I'm sure I can find out, no problem, but I don't know what ended up, at this point, I don't know what ended up happening to him, other than he had went to the hole and was fighting a manslaughter. I believe it was a manslaughter. He wasn't, because they said you just punched him. We can't say that you punched him with the intention. You didn't know when you punched him that he was going to die. We can't say that you punched him with the intention of unaliving him. People get into fights all day, every day, everywhere, on the street, in the county jail, of course, in prison, and nobody really goes into the fight thinking this dude can die. I'm finna unalive him. Just in this fight, I'm that good, I'm that strong. I'm finna kill you, boy. Right now, you might feel it, oh, I kill this motherfucker, but you ain't thinking I'm really finna, when you punch him. Anyway, his head, that's what happens though. It happens. A lot of times boxers die in the ring. They don't tell you this stuff. From brain aneurysms and all of this. And his head fell back and hit the concrete. I don't know if it cracked his skull. I don't know how bad it was. I don't know if it was a horrible sight right there. The homie out there, fucking head leaking and shit. All the homies sitting right there watching this shit. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? When I got worried about it, yeah, I was upset. And I'll just leave it as like that, The homies from Trouble was on the yard, skrilling them, as I said, Meech. And I wasn't happy. But, we all discussed it, the homies in other prisons. And basically, I suppose just decided that it was a homie that did it to another homie, and they also decided that he wasn't trying to unalive the homie. You know, some probably felt like Evil put himself in that situation, but the main thing was that he wasn't trying to unalive the homie. He was trying to DP the homie or squabble the homie or whatever. Well, he felt like the homie had disrespected him by saying he was lying, so he punched him. Something that happens all the time. Homies fight. Like, man, what? Squabble up, Just so happened, he basically knocked him out. Or at least he was out after he hit the ground. And the homie hit his head on something, man. On the concrete down there. And that was it. So it was just left alone, bro. It was left alone. I don't know. Maybe if it had been left alone, had it been someone else, or a real reputable homie from the church. That's what I said about That's why I said it's gonna come into play about Evil and how strong he was from the turf. He was a good, strong dude in prison, and I'm sure from the turf as well. He wasn't a big name like say if it had been Smokey or Tony Stacy or Bubs or Lil Frog, Duck, Trey Soldier, Trey Stone, Big Frog, Porky. Probably would have been a different response, bro. Maybe not. Maybe he still would have been said that this is just a homie. He just punched him and was not trying to do that. Maybe. I don't know. That's what happened. And the homie passed away right there, bro, in the hospital, Salinas Valley. Been up there for a couple of weeks after leaving Centinella by helping out this weird dude, Dan, who needed help, who got himself in a situation. Now he had to get transferred. And weeks later, he's dead. Weeks later, he's gone. His whole life is gone. He was just up here doing something totally different, living a totally different kind of life. And now, boom, you look up and how quickly life changes and how quickly life can leave you. How quickly life can leave your body. Particularly if you're not careful and making certain mistakes right there in prison. Like talking behind somebody's back. Again, I wasn't there. If that's how it happened and that's what the story is, supposedly that's why he punched him, supposedly. Don't do it. Confront the person, confront the situation, or don't speak on it. And when you do confront the person and confront the situation, after that, don't speak on it. You don't have to go to somebody else. Yeah, man, I told that dude, what I'm saying? I confronted him, bro, woo. You a man, bro. This is normal business. It's a normal program. There's nothing to talk about. You handle it with that person and then dead the issue. That's what you do. That's a sign of strength. You move on. And don't gossip as a man. This can be the outcome, fellas. Ridiculous, man. Stay strong and stay free, people.